What kind of person risks $1 billion, not for a lavish lifestyle, but to fundamentally change the future of humanity? This isn't just a hypothetical question. It's the story of one of the most polarizing and visionary figures of our time, Elon Musk. How did a kid from South Africa obsessed with video games become the mind behind electric cars that outsell giants and rockets that are redefining space travel? Stay with me, because this isn't just a story about getting rich. It's a masterclass in turning impossible dreams into reality, and by the end, you'll see the world, and maybe even your own potential, in a completely new light. Elon Musk's journey begins in Pretoria, South Africa. From a young age, he wasn't like other kids. While his peers were out playing, Elon was often lost in books, devouring everything from science fiction to encyclopedias. They called him a bookworm, but what they were really seeing was the birth of an insatiable curiosity. He wasn't just reading, he was downloading the world's knowledge into his brain. This obsession led him to his first love, computers. At a time when personal computers were a novelty, a 10-year-old Elon got his hands on a Commodore VIC-20. He didn't just play on it, he taught himself how to code. Think about that for a second. Most kids are learning multiplication tables. Elon was learning a new language to speak to machines. And he got good at it, fast. So good, in fact, that by the age of 12, he had not only designed but also sold his first video game, a space shooter called Blastar, to a computer magazine for $500. It wasn't about the money. It was proof of concept. He realized he could take an idea from his mind, build it with code, and create something of value. This wasn't just a childhood hobby. It was the blueprint for his entire life. The key takeaway from his early years is this powerful mindset, an unrelenting obsession with learning and, more importantly, with solving problems. For Elon, a problem wasn't a roadblock, it was an invitation. After moving to Canada and then the United States to study at the University of Pennsylvania, the real-world application of this mindset began. The year is 1995. The internet is a wild, untamed frontier. While most people were just figuring out what a .com was, Elon saw something bigger. He saw a digital revolution waiting to happen. Along with his brother Kimball, he started his first company, Zip2. What was it? Imagine Google Maps and Yelp combined, but back in the mid-90s. It was an online city guide for newspapers, a revolutionary idea at the time. But a great idea is worthless without execution, and Elon's work ethic was, to put it mildly, extreme. He literally lived in the small office they rented. He had no apartment. He slept on a couch, showered at the local YMCA, and programmed day and night. He and his brother had one computer, so they had to code in shifts. While one worked, the other slept. This wasn't just a job. It was his entire existence. He was all in, and it paid off. 4 years later, the tech company Compaq acquired Zip2 for over $300 million. Elon walked away with $22 million. He was 27 years old and a multimillionaire. The lesson here is powerful. Being at the right place at the right time is one thing, but having the vision to see what technology can do, and the grit to build it, is what creates the opportunity. For most people, $22 million would be the end goal. Time to retire to a beach, right? For Elon Musk, it was just the beginning. It was seed money for a much, much bigger vision. He took his winnings and immediately rolled them into his next venture, a company called XCOM. His goal was audacious, to revolutionize the banking industry. He wanted to create a fully integrated online financial service. This was a direct challenge to the old guard, the brick-and-mortar banks that had been around for centuries. During this time, another company called Confinity had a similar idea, with a product you might have heard of, PayPal. Instead of competing, they decided to merge. This created one of the most legendary teams in Silicon Valley history, the PayPal Mafia, including people like Peter Thiel and Reid Hoffman. But it wasn't a smooth ride. There were intense internal conflicts over technology and branding. While Elon was on his honeymoon, a trip he had postponed for the merger, the board staged a coup. They fired him as CEO, Can you imagine? You build a company, pour your soul into it, and then get pushed out. It was a brutal lesson in corporate politics. But even from the sidelines, Elon's vision was validated. In 2002, eBay bought PayPal for a staggering $1.5 billion. As the largest shareholder, Elon's stake was worth around $180 million. This wasn't just a successful exit. This was the turning point. This was the moment Elon Musk became financially independent. He now had the capital to stop building on other people's platforms and start building his own worlds. Now we get to the part of the story that separates the dreamers from the titans. With nearly $200 million in the bank, what would you do? Buy an island? A fleet of supercars? Elon Musk did something that everyone, and I mean everyone, thought was insane. He took almost all of his money, about $100 million, and invested it into SpaceX, a company with the goal of making humanity a multiplanetary species. He put another $70 million into a struggling electric car company called Tesla, with the mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. And he kept just enough to pay rent. He bet everything, not on a sure thing, but on two of the hardest, most capital-intensive industries on Earth: rockets and cars. The years that followed were pure hell. The financial crisis of 2008 hit, and capital markets dried up. Both Tesla and SpaceX were bleeding cash and teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. Tesla was struggling with production problems for its first car, the Roadster. SpaceX had failed its first, second, and third rocket launches. Each failure was a multi-million-dollar explosion. The media called him a fool, a failed millionaire burning through his fortune. He was stretched to his absolute physical and emotional limit. It all came down to a single moment. If the fourth SpaceX launch had failed, it was over. Both companies would have been dead. Elon Musk would have lost everything. He would have gone from multi-millionaire to broke. His dreams literally turned to ash. This was the ultimate risk. Then on September 28, 2008, against all odds, the Falcon 1 rocket successfully reached orbit. It was the first privately funded liquid-fueled rocket to do so. The SpaceX team erupted in cheers. Elon, watching from mission control, was overcome with emotion. That single success changed everything. It was the proof of concept he desperately needed. Shortly after, NASA, seeing that a private company could actually do what only governments had done before, awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to resupply the International Space Station. The company was saved. Just a few months later, Tesla secured a last-minute funding round on Christmas Eve, saving it from bankruptcy by mere hours. The tide had turned. From that point on, the momentum was unstoppable. SpaceX began launching regularly, landing rockets back on Earth, and slashing the cost of space access. Tesla solved its production issues, launched the Model S to critical acclaim, and began its journey to becoming the world's most valuable automaker. The kid who sold a video game for $500 was now running companies that were changing the world. And as the value of these companies soared, Elon Musk officially crossed the threshold and became a billionaire. His insane gamble, the one everyone laughed at, had paid off on a scale that nobody could have imagined. So what's the ultimate lesson from this incredible story? It's simple, but it's profound. Elon Musk didn't chase money. He chased impossible problems. He looked at the world and asked, what are the biggest challenges facing humanity? Then he dedicated his life and his fortune to solving them. Sustainable energy, space exploration, artificial intelligence. These are not get-rich-quick schemes. They are generational challenges. And because he focused on creating immense value and solving problems that truly matter, the money followed him. His wealth isn't the goal. It's a byproduct of his mission. He proves that if you have the courage to pursue a purpose greater than yourself, to risk everything for a belief, and to persevere through unimaginable failure, you won't just find success, you will redefine it. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more deep dives into the minds of those who change the world. See you in the next one.